Alright guys, I'm definitely excited for this video. Tonight we're talking about my predictions for this season's MLB free agency. Alright, winter free agents. Now, we're going over all the big free agents and more. We're going over 25 free agents. Now, they say that this is a weaker free agent class, which, hey, I think that's actually kind of could be true just based on what we have had, but seeing these players all be free agents, this just means that free agency every year, I've kind of underrated it. It's important because there are some players that can make an impact on here. We're going over the top 25 free agents where I think they'll all go. Subscribe to me, guys. I drop sports content about twice a week. We're on the rise here, so hit that subscribe button. The first one we're going over, Tommy La Stella, 32-year-old second baseman, formerly of the Angels and A's. Now, he's a pretty solid player, and we're going to put him in the Cleveland Indians, okay? I think he's going to Cleveland to play second base for the Indians. I wasn't totally sure where to put him, but Cesar Hernandez, the Indians second baseman from last year, is now a free agent, so I think the Indians might pick up Tommy La Stella. The second one we're going over, Jake Odorizzi, 31-year-old starting pitcher. Now, where do I think he's going? I think he's going to the San Francisco Giants. I think this is going to be perhaps the only guy the Giants get, but I have him going to the Giants. Why? Because the Giants have a tendency to get some decent veteran starting pitchers. Jake Odorizzi is a pretty solid pitcher. He was very bad in 2020, so that's a little concerning, but in 2019, he was very good, and before that, he was a pretty solid pitcher when he was with Tampa Bay. He was just with Minnesota, so I think he would see it as a treat to play in San Francisco, beautiful San Francisco, after playing at Tropicana Field in St. Pete for so many years. Alright, Jock Peterson, the 28-year-old left fielder, has spent his whole career with the Dodgers, and I have him going to the Marlins. At first, I had him down for St. Louis, but then I was like, okay, I didn't have the Marlins getting anyone, and I think this could be the best fit for the Marlins. A left fielder who it's interesting to see how he will get paid, because this season especially, but throughout his career, he has not been great in the regular season, but he has always played well in the postseason. And that was the case this year, even without any fans, so that makes you think maybe he will be fine in an always quiet environment in Miami. And I just think this is a guy that the Marlins can really use as they look to continue to build their team. Mike Minor, the 33-year-old left-handed starter. I have him going to the Atlanta Braves, which is where he started his career, had a couple of decent years early last decade, and he became a good pitcher in 2019 with Texas. He was very good, and he was bad in 2020, but I think he'll go back to where he has played much of his career, the Braves, and the reason the Braves would want him. Braves are a very elite team, and they could use some padding, though, in their rotation. Mike Minor, you'd have to probably like giving him the ball as your number 4 guy in the playoffs or something. Kevin Gausman, 30 years old, starting pitcher. Was with Baltimore a lot of his career. Was with San Francisco and Atlanta in the recent years. I have him going to the Texas Rangers. Now, this one's a little random, but I feel like the Rangers are going to pick up somebody decent, and this is probably going to be the guy. Hope that they could develop him because he has shown signs that he could be a legitimately good pitcher. Please note that whenever I say someone's age, that is going to be their age on opening day next season. Andrelton Simmons, 31-year-old shortstop. I have him going to the Milwaukee Brewers, okay? The Brewers are a team that have played with a weak shortstop for a while, and I think Andrelton Simmons, he is a light hitter, okay? Let's not act like he's a good hitter, but I think he's an upgrade over Orlando Arcia because of what Andrelton Simmons can do with the glove, and I don't know, I just feel like it's a Milwaukee Brewers type of move. Nelson Cruz, 40-year-old DH, he's getting re-signed by the Minnesota Twins. The Twins can, I don't know what this Bomba squad would be so much less if they didn't have Nelson Cruz. He doesn't play the field, he doesn't run fast, but he's the MVP of their team. Charlie Morton, 37-year-old, very good starting pitcher, had a down regular season, but pitched very well in the postseason, so he proved that he still has something left. And the Rays declined his $18.9 million option, which was a surprise. I originally had him re-signing with Tampa, but then I realized that, they declined that option. They must not think as high of him as I would. So I have him going to the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals definitely could use something pretty good, and I think they'll get a good veteran starting pitcher for a little bit of a low cost, seeing if they can make the playoffs again with Waino and Morton. Kolten Wong, Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I have the Phillies not getting Didi back, so I have Gene Segura moving to shortstop, his original position. So I think Kolten Wong would fit pretty nice, a decent little second baseman to have there. Maybe a slight downgrade from Gregorius, probably a slight downgrade from Gregorius. But hey, the Phillies, if they want to spend some money on another player, then they might have a slight downgrade in the infield. But hey, Kolten Wong coming to Philly. Starting pitcher TAIJUan Walker. Now the Reds are going to pick him up. Now this guy showed a lot of signs of life that he could be good. He was lights out in, you know, the shortened season, and he only pitched like, what, 5 or 7 games with the Blue Jays. Now I have the Reds picking up. The Reds tend to develop pitchers very well, and if they lose Bauer, I think they'll definitely want someone to at least attempt to somewhat replace him, and I think TAIJUan Walker might be the guy. All right, Ha-Seong Kim. You guys are probably like, who's that? Well, he's a 25-year-old shortstop coming from somewhere else. I have him going to the Detroit Tigers. Maybe they'll try and develop a player there, a pretty young player. They do not have a good shortstop, so maybe he's headed to Detroit. Jackie Bradley Jr., a 30-year-old center fielder. Where is he going? This one's pretty interesting. Do the Red Sox re-sign him or no? I have him going to Colorado, the Rockies. I was debating between Rockies and Giants, but I was thinking, man, Jackie Bradley is just not going to hit it all in San Francisco with that high and long right field wall. I think he could play. It's still a pretty big outfield in Colorado. The ball just travels well, so I think his good defense could fit well in Colorado, and I think he could still be a respectable offensive player there. He's not a good offensive hitter. Reliever Liam Hendriks is going to the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox bolstered their offense so much last winter. They got Keuchel, so they have a pretty good starting rotation. Not that the rotation is set, but I think the bullpen, adding an absolutely elite, maybe the best reliever in baseball, is really going to benefit this good White Sox team. Next year's AL Central, man, White Sox Twins is going to be fire. All right, James Paxton, going to be 32 next season. I have him going to Toronto. Okay, he pitched that no-hitter in Toronto in 2018 when he was with Seattle. He's a Canadian, obviously. And James Paxton, I just think the Blue Jays could use a good starting pitcher as they look to make a real postseason. And hey, James Paxton would probably love to pitch there. All right, Masahiro Tanaka, 32-year-old pitcher, another former Yankee. Well, I think this one's not easy, but I think he's going to the Yankees. Now, Masahiro Tanaka, it's hard to envision him pitching in the MLB in any other uniform. Some people say Seattle. They tend to get a lot of guys from Japan. But I don't know. I have him going to the Yankees again because he is a Yankee. He's such a Yankee. And I feel like it's either Yankee or he leaves MLB. All right, Justin Turner, 36-year-old third baseman. Where is he going? I think the Dodgers will do it. They'll pick him back up. Justin Turner will continue his Dodgers career. He's maybe not quite what he was back in like maybe 2017 or something was his best year, I believe. But hey, he's still a good player. He's kind of been maintaining solidness for the last 2-3 years. Justin Turner, man, Dodgers will pick him back up, I think. He's got a ring with them now. Where else would he feel content finishing his career than Los Angeles? All right, outfielder Michael Brantley. This is an interesting one, but I have the Astros re-signing him. Now, the deal is a lot of people are not going to want to play with the Astros, just knowing how they have a terrible reputation. But Michael Brantley was not a cheater. Michael Brantley, I think the Astros will die to have Michael Brantley back, and I think they could get it done. All right, I was having a lot of trouble with DIDI Gregorius, so the best place I thought for him might be Arizona. I don't think any of the East Coast high market teams, large market teams, will actually want DIDI. I think that he's headed to Arizona. That's where he started his career. And Nick Ahmed, I don't think the Diamondbacks really want him. He's over 30 years old. Didi's right around 30, but better. Didi's a former Diamondback. I think Didi is amazing for the clubhouse culture development of Arizona. Marcus Semien, 30-year-old shortstop, Oakland Athletics. Well, someone's going to overpay for Semien, and I think it's going to be the Athletics. He had a very good 2019 season, But even then, his OPS was below 900. I know he does a lot. Defense, played at a big hitting ballpark, tough to hit in. But at the same time, he's been bad every other year offensively. He's not a good hitter. And hey, I think that the Athletics are going to overpay for him. Marcus Stroman is going to be re-signed by Steve Cohen and the Mets. Stroman's good. I don't think he's a star. I think he's a slightly above average star. Not slightly above average. I think that on a World Series team, he's a number 3 guy. On an average team, he's a number 2 guy. Marcell Ozuna, 30-year-old left fielder. He's going back to Atlanta. The Braves really need to pick him back up. This is going to be probably the most important thing this offseason for the Braves. He probably should have been an MVP candidate. He's not, but he was just so good for the Braves this year. Such a good hitter. They need him back, and I think they'll get it done. As you can tell, we're getting to the elite free agents. DJ LeMahieu, he's going back to the Yankees. As a Yankee fan, I highly expect this to get done, and I don't think it should take too long. The Yankees have definitely expressed interest, almost made it official, that they're going to re-sign LeMahieu. Honestly, I thought 2019 was just a breakout year, but 2020, DJ LeMahieu developed himself as being like almost as good as Aaron Judge. That's how good he's been. Due to Judge's injuries, DJ LeMahieu has definitely been the regular season MVP for the Yankees 2 straight years now. The third best free agent, George Springer, 31 years old now by opening day. Where is he going? I say New York Mets. The Mets, Steve Cohen, I'm not a believer in like they have a rich owner, you're gonna just suddenly be great, because if you look at the current richest owners, they're not all for good teams. They're just not. There's not any correlation there actually, but Steve Cohen is a lot richer than most of them, and there's a lot of hype, a lot of pressure on Steve Cohen. I think he'll get it done. George Springer is not re-signing with Houston. He said he wants out, so hey, it's gonna be fun to see Springer move on. See, I don't know if I like or hate him, because I always really liked Springer, but hey, he's probably a cheater. He was one of the leaders of the Houston Astros. But George Springer, he's going to the Mets. Trevor Bauer, 30-year-old starting pitcher. Where is he going? It's kind of tough to say, but I'm going to go with the Angels. Trevor Bauer might be the most interesting to watch free agent here. He's 30. He's going to the Angels because he's a SoCal native, and the Angels are, man, if they boost their pitching with one more star, they should be a wild card team, if not in heavy competition with the Astros and the A's. Okay, Astros, A's, Angels. If the Angels get Bauer, it's going to be crazy. JT Realmuto, right in his prime, going to be 30 next year. He's going to re-sign with the Philadelphia Phillies. I am actually very confident the Phillies will get this done. They need him, okay? They're supposed to be good. They're supposed to be good for a couple years now, and they just haven't ever finished above 500 since 2011. That's going to be 10 years from next year. If you're not aware, JT Realmuto, you're going back to Philly. If you enjoyed this 2020-21 MLB free agent predictions video, then drop one of these, and we will see you next time. Be sure to not only subscribe, but hit the bell. Comment below which prediction you liked most, which prediction you don't agree with. Follow me on Instagram at neverquitnate_, and we'll see you next time.